Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Veda and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel I show you simple but effective ways of maintaining a stress-free financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Well, hello everyone. Happy Thursday to you. Today's video is an exciting one and a long time coming. If you are new to my channel here, my husband and I started this channel when we were $60,000, just under $60,000 in debt. It was all consumer debt. We managed to pay that off in about 17 months, and we are loosely following the Dave Ramsey baby steps. And so we are now currently working on saving up an emergency fund. For us personally, that's going to be $36,000, and that will cover us for pretty much just the basics for 6 months if my husband were to lose his job, because he is the sole income earner in our house. I do earn money through YouTube and my Etsy shop, which is always linked below if you're interested in handmade budgeting goodies. But I mean, that would not sustain us if my husband lost his job. And so the emergency fund is there to serve as a life buffer in the event of an emergency like that. We also have some sort of loose ideas of what we would use it for, like other emergencies, but by and large, it is just going to kind of sit and hang out in our high yield savings account and earn us interest, and just be there for in case of an emergency. The amount of money totally varies per household, per ideology, frankly, depending on whatever you think is the priority for an emergency. That's what I would encourage you to add up as far as figuring out how much money you want to save for your emergency fund. Some people save like half of a year's salary and they call that 6 months as well. For us, we just added up our major expenses and figured out what 6 months of that would be. And then that was the number that we decided to save for. So because I took a little hiatus, I didn't upload my Q2 emergency fund update. And so that's what today's video is. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into my budget planner here, and I'm going to grab this out. Oh, excuse me, as a little like divider situation, and go way in the back here to the savings tracking part of my binder. I do have all of these sections available as individual downloads in my Etsy shop. They are currently not available printed. I'm hoping that I'm making some leeway with a potential connection for a production partner in order to make a physical budget planner. But if you missed, I don't even know when I mentioned it, sometime last week, I am trying to find a manufacturer that is not based in China. And so it is a very difficult endeavor because a lot of things are produced in China. But just from an ethical standpoint, I don't appreciate that. So I want to have my budget planner made. It would be lovely if I could find somebody to manufacture it in the US, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. I want to make sure I'm not like, I don't want to give anything away. Okay. So this is actually last year. So the last time, let me see. Yeah, you guys can see. The last time we checked in with each other was like after the first quarter of this year. So we finished Q1 with $20,597.87 in our high yield savings account for our emergency fund, which was huge. And so then moving on to April, we put $1,024.42 into the emergency fund. In full disclosure, in the months of April, May, and June, we did not hit our stated $2,000 goal. I know it looks like we didn't do it here either, but sometimes the money doesn't go into our account until like a week or two before or after the month itself. And so, but I mean, by and large, we really do try to get $2,000 a month into the emergency fund. But in April, May, and June, we just did not achieve that. And I think I mentioned this in my little catch-up video with you guys, but we just had some setbacks. We had some medical expenses. We had some, what else? Oh, our dishwasher went, so we had to replace that. We had to get a faucet, an outdoor faucet repair done. That cost us a bunch of money. We just had like a bunch of little things that hit in April, May, and June. So we never hit our $2,000 mark. But the nice thing about saving for your emergency fund is you just forego putting that money in the emergency fund, and you're essentially funding those little mini emergencies. And so you're not going into debt, which was fantastic. We really appreciated that. But it did mean, a delay in us achieving our goals. So I'm just going to kind of update you with that. I'm pretty sure April was the month of all the plumbing, or maybe April was the month of all the medical things. And then May was the month of all the plumbing. And then June was when we actually replaced our dishwasher. I think that's how that happened, but it's hard to remember now with so much time passing and so much busyness going on. But that's what happened. So we finished the month of April with $21,708.60 in our emergency fund. Then in May, we got close. We hit $1,795, and we finished the month of May with $23,503.60. So slowly but surely, we are making headway. It's just one of those things that when you get hit with like all the bills and things, it kind of drives you bonkers and sets you off course. And then finally, in the month of June, we managed a solid $1,000 into the emergency fund. And so that leaves us finishing quarter two with $24,503.60. We do add in our, like all of the interest money that is being earned right now in our high yield savings account. We just funnel that toward our emergency fund as well, because we're trying so hard to achieve this goal and get this done and over with so that we can move on to some other financial goals that we have. And it's probably where we will deviate the most from the Dave Ramsey baby steps, not because we don't think he's full of wisdom and full of good advice and all of this. But I know that there are some like Dave Ramsey absolutists out there who kind of get a little finicky when you say that you're going to divert from the plan. But we know ourselves well enough to know that we will be okay if we don't follow things exactly as he has laid them out. I think that his advice is good for people who really especially need like tough love financial discipline, but we are definitely at this point in like along this road of getting our finances in order. We feel very confident in our progress. I did mention, despite the fact that I was not hanging around here on my channel in June and July, we never went off budget. We didn't go off course. We were still maintaining the discipline of the zero-based budget. We just weren't filming it and we weren't stuffing for you guys. So, but yeah, we are really excited to be that far along at this point. And, our goal, we would love to actually just be done saving for our emergency fund by the end of the year. That's going to require a little bit of heft on our part, and a lot of effort, but I think we can do it, to get the $36,000, because this is a magic month. So we're putting double the amount that we usually do into our emergency fund. So that's lovely. But yeah, overall, we're really excited about the progress, and it's definitely something that taking the time to kind of do these beginner baby steps have really set us up for the ability to be able to maintain this level of discipline. And I would say like one of the comments that I get all the time, whether it's in person with like friends or, in my comment section, is it's really difficult to avoid like, going out to eat and shopping and all of those sorts of things. And I know that it's hard, but if I could just encourage you to, I would even say have like a homebody month where you just kind of, what's the word? Like cold turkey your bad habits away. I know that's difficult. Like if you leave the house and you work outside of the home, I think it's easier for people who work from home to be able to do that because you're sort of in your natural homebody state anyway. But in as far as you can control it, to be able to tap into that discipline resource that you have within yourself to not do the things that typically trap you into spending money, I would encourage you to do those things. I know it's difficult, but I cannot begin to express to you how comforting it is to maintain that level of discipline and see the work pay off. It is so much better than any dopamine hit that you could get from shopping, going out to eat, going out for drinks. Like I'm trying to think of all the things that I would be spending money on, and those would be the things. I really like to go out to eat. I like to treat myself every now and then. There are some times, like even yesterday, I can't even remember what I was doing, but I was doing something and I was like, man, it wasn't yesterday. It was Tuesday. I was grocery shopping and I was like, man, I could really go for a Starbucks. And then I thought about it and I was like, that's going to be like $5 that I'm going to pull for my own spending that I would probably like to use on something else. And so it's taking those seconds to think about the things that you really want to achieve before you spend money on something that isn't an achievement. It's just an impulse. So anyways, I feel like I've rambled long enough, but anyway, that's where we stand. That's where we stand at the end of Q2. And at the end of September, we will be updating you again on our Q3 progress and letting you know kind of what we achieved from July through the end of September. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I cannot thank you guys enough for your encouragement and just kind of being here the whole time and watching the entire thing flesh out. It's exciting for us to have people who are excited along with you for your progress. So yeah, so that's where we are. So let us know if you're currently paying down debt, let us know what you've achieved in the last couple of months down in the comments below. If you're saving up for an emergency fund too, let us know, kind of where you stand with that. And then I would love to know a piece of advice that you would give to yourself if you were just starting down this road of financial, what's the word I'm looking for? Like financial responsibility, I guess. So yeah, I would love to hear a piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were just starting off. If I were to say anything to myself, it would be every little step forward that you make is still forward progress. And you can't be discouraged by comparing yourself to somebody else's progress is going to make you feel worse. Acknowledging the progress that you are making, however small, will be the kind of boost of encouragement that you need to keep going forward. So that would be the piece of advice that I would give myself, I think, because especially in the beginning, it felt like we had such a huge mountain ahead of us and it felt like the progress was really slow. But then when you look back on it, you're like, wow, that only took, like a year and a half. That was not that bad. So just, stay encouraged. Know that the little steps add up to a giant, effective bit of progress. So yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. I know it's kind of short and sweet, but these videos never take very long anyway. I mean, it's just 3 months of progress. So that's it. And I will be back here with you guys again tomorrow with the weekly check-in. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I am too. Again, we've really not had like a spendy week. We've kind of been low key apart from like buying school things and just getting back in the gear of all that. My goodness gracious. I mean, I'm glad that we're like in it now, but it feels like the first week of school always feels crazy. So anyways, I'll be back here with you guys again tomorrow. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday and I will see you then. Okay. Bye everyone.